Like many golfers, I've been on the hunt for the perfect putter, and I may have found it. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter from Panda here. Hey, I have been looking for the perfect putter, something to shave strokes off my game since I started putting. Everyone else is doing this too. They actually say you drive for show and you putt for dough, and having a really good putter actually makes a lot of sense in my opinion. And actually having the putter be the most expensive club in your bag makes a lot of sense to me, because that's where you really want the precision. You really don't need it so much in some of the other clubs where you're never going to sink those shots and you're only going to be in a different spot by a yard or two. So a putter, I think, is really, really important. Now, I think it's important to tell you a little bit about my putter journey and why I have chosen to go with the putter that I have. Now, first of all, I used to just start with a regular toe hang, simple putter, and then I switched to a mallet style, just like this Ray Cook here. And this is a really good putter, but what I really thought here was that more weight on it was going to help my tempo. A larger line on the back was going to help me with alignment. But the problem with this is a face balance putter. So when I lay it like this, the face does lay parallel to the ground. And so what you think is that that face is going to stay perpendicular to your target as you're coming through it. Well, that's a little bit of a fallacy, and I'll show you why when we get to the putting demonstration. But the other thing that I don't like about these, and why I went away from mallet putters after having several of them, is that they are so heavy, you just don't get a lot of feel. So ideally what we want is accuracy and feel. So I went away from the face balanced mallet style and went back to my original blade style putter. Now this one is actually what we call a toe hang, and you can see here the toe hangs off. Now I really haven't used this putter very much because I found better putters, but what I just wanted to show you here is that the weight is really in the toe. Now that toe hang creates a little bit of a problem in that when you line up to the ball, the putter is always trying to torque away or trying to fall away. It doesn't want to stay lined up, so you have to just overcome that with brute force, with grip strength. The thing that I do like about it is that these putters can be much lighter, and so you tend to get better feel with them, and so distance and lag improves with it. That's pretty nice. But again, it's not all of the things that I really want in a putter. So enter this putter, which I have loved for years. It's actually a Cleveland. It's the Huntington Beach collection. It's a great putter, and it is a blade style. It's got a little more weight to it. It has this kind of machined face on it, so you definitely get a little bit more feel on it. And what I will show you here is that it's basically a face balance putter. So it's a blade with a face balance. Now, I thought this was the end all be all, and despite this not being a super premium putter, I tended to do very well with this. I thought I just got a decent amount of feel and it lined up nicely with my targets. Now, what I realized is that face balancing, while it's clever, is actually not what you really want when you are putting. So even though the face stays flat up here, when you start going up into the angle that you are going to actually putt with, it becomes unstable. So if I just release all the pressure on it, you can see how it's falling parallel to the target. Now you can't hit a putt like that. And so what you want is a putter that's going to kind of stay on the target, stay perpendicular to the target as you're putting through it, and not wanting to torque away. Okay, now the concept of a putter that doesn't twist away from the target is not new. Actually, in the past, I've used this. This is a Little B putter by Ping, and what you can see here, it kind of face balances, but it's really more balanced to the putter, and that's because the shaft goes straight into the middle of the putter right there. And so what you get here is that when you put this down and you putt with it, the center of gravity is right in the middle. The shaft goes right there. It's perfectly balanced front to back, so it doesn't want to twist like this. And you can actually hit it, and as you swing, the club actually wants to stay perpendicular to the target, even though I'm putting no pressure on the grip itself. Now that's really great, but the way they had to do this back in the day is just add weight to certain areas to make sure that it would swing like that without torquing and twisting. The drawback to that is this is actually a pretty heavy putter, and like I said, the heavier the putter gets, the less feel I have with it. So unfortunately, while the concept is good and the putter doesn't twist as you're swinging it, it's really actually heavier than the mallet putters that I ditched because they were just too heavy for me. So fast forward to today, there are a few putter companies that have really started to crack the code on what we call torque balanced or face balanced or lie angle balanced or torqueless putters, as well as optimizing them so that you get the feel back. Now this is by Edel. David Edel makes these putters pretty much by hand, in his shop, and there are a couple other companies that do this. I want to say Lab Putters, Lie Angle Balance Putters, as well as Access One Putters will do this too. And to me, the technology that they put into these putters should be the standard. I'm not sure why it's actually not more popular, because I think it's a little bit of a game changer. Now, this one is called the E3, and at first glance, it looks like any other blade style putter, but the real magic is down here. So you can see what they've done is they have milled out or cut out a bunch of the material up by the toe, right? And so this lightens up this area. Now, to balance it out, they have put in a weight, and I'm not sure if this is tungsten, but it's a heavier weight. You can actually replace these. You can see how they milled out the back here too with some portholes. That lightens it up. And then the effect of this is that you get to put the shaft back here, even though the center of gravity is right here, and so you get a much more standard looking putter. It doesn't look funky like some of the other Lie Angle Balanced and Torque Balanced and Directed Force ones. It looks like a standard putter when you're standing on top of it. Now, these are all basically custom made, and they aren't cheap. This one was about $375. I've replaced the grip on it. The original grip that comes on it is round. It's a great grip, and I just wanted something that was a little smaller, fit my hand a little better. But the benefit of this is that it is no longer face balanced, and you can see here that it stands straight up. And what happens is, as I put this down with just my fingers around the shaft here, you can see when it's at a putting angle, it is set up directly perpendicular to the target. And when I swing it back and forth here, you can see that it doesn't want to twist at all. And if you hit it right in the center, the putter will not torque. Now, this is really important because the ball is in contact with the putter face for such a brief moment. That impact angle makes a lot of difference. So you want it nice and square, because you get basically just a fraction of a second to put it on line, and even a degree or two as you're lined up might mean making or missing the putt. And so I really like this. Now, how does this address some of the other problems that I've had with these putters, namely the weight and the feel? So obviously they've gotten rid of a lot of weight up here, but they've added up here. So the putter itself is still overall pretty heavy. You just have to do that in order to get the center of balance correct. But what they've done here on this particular putter is that they've added these little pixels, P-I-X-L, into the face here to give you more feel on impact. Now, these little pixels look like they may be machined in there, but they're actually like little rod bearings. They mill out this front end, and then they stack those little rods on there, and then they machine them flush. Now, this gives you a lot of feel when you are hitting the ball, and it's kind of necessary to do when you have a fairly heavy putter. But I really like these, and they definitely seem to work. I definitely get more feel out of these, even though this putter is as heavy as some of the other putters that I just don't get any feel out of. It doesn't ring, it doesn't ding, it doesn't give you any feedback through the shaft into your hands. And so I really like that. So on top of just looking very traditional and not screwing with my eye, being very fluid and having this natural tendency to want to hit flat straight, and also giving me a lot of feel through the hands, I actually think this putter is phenomenal. Now, I will say I have been playing with this putter all summer. Because of the price point on these, I was a little worried about this putter being everything that I hoped for. Now, I will say that I have been trying to dial in the distance. When you have a heavier putter, that's just one of the things that's going to be a little bit harder, is getting, you know, the feel down. But I've started to do that. What I've also noticed is that for me, I tend to kind of look away from the ball at the pin, because once I get lined up with it, I actually am really trying to dial in the distance. What that means is I'm often not focused on the ball in the putter, and so having a putter that's going to stay square is pretty huge, because then I don't have to obsess about getting that perfect strike. I can really think about the distance, and that helps my type of putting style. Let's demonstrate. So again, open face balance putter here, and when I put it down like this, it's not bad. But when you bring it back, and I'm going to really loosen up my grip because that's where you get the most feel, but I'm going to go ahead and grab the shaft here and release my hands off the grip, and you can see that the club wants to just fall open. So if I hold it by the shaft and just release my hand on the grip, you can see how much that falls open. And so that says to me that there's a lot of weight on the toe. And the problem with this is you can putt with this, that's no problem, but what you have to do is you have to overcome that tendency for the club to just want to flop open like this with grip tension, and that's not a problem, and I don't think most people would have a problem with that, but it's just one of those things that's just another slight niggling force that you have to overcome. All right, let's grab the toe hang putter here. So just like this, and again, this one will sag because there's so much weight in the toe. But again, the problem with this is if I grab down here on the shaft and just lift it up, this thing wants to flop open almost 90 degrees. And again, it's just another slight force that you have to overcome by gripping a little bit harder than you normally would. Okay, so let's go to the torque balanced putter here. And this I'm going to just set up with like this, and then I'm going to grab down on the shaft and I'm going to release here. And you can see that even when I release, the club just hangs in the same position that it was. So I'm doing nothing but releasing the grip, and it just wants to still stay perpendicular to the target. So what I can do with the torque balance putter is take a really, really light grip, almost no pressure at all, because the putter is not going to twist on me. And then I can get a lot of feel and take a nice slow hit with it. And no matter what, you know, I'm using almost no grip pressure right now, and I don't have to worry about that putter twisting at all. And that's really the benefit of the torque balance putter here. In summation, it is a really, really awesome putter. Now, I will say I spent more money than I thought I needed to by picking up this putter. It was the most money I've ever spent on a golf club, period. But I have been so enamored with this putter over the last few months of playing with it that I actually went ahead and ordered a new torque balance putter from Edel, and it should be coming pretty soon, so I'll do a review on that. But they've updated some of the features on the putter, including the face, a little bit of the way that it's balanced and milled, and I was also able to order it with some customizations to me, and it will continue to be the most expensive club in my bag, but I think it's worth every penny. So if you are a golfer and you are trying to figure out where to spend the money on your clubs, I think the putter is the one place that you might want to splurge. If you want to pick this up or any other torque balanced, face torque balanced, line angle balanced, directed force putters, I will put links to them in the description below. Peter from Panda, out.